And so Elijah, he's watching these prophets of Baal, and he's just making fun of them. You think your God is going to answer? All right, bet. Watch what my God can do. Can you look at somebody and say, watch what my God can do? Woo. Can you look at somebody else and say, watch what my God can do? And so Elijah, he builds an altar. He puts a sacrifice on the altar. But not only does he put a sacrifice on the altar, he takes buckets, okay? Plural, buckets. You look at somebody and say buckets, okay? Buckets of water, okay? And he pours it on top of the altar. He pours it on top of the sacrifice. He takes buckets of water and pours it on something that he wants to catch on fire. Excuse me? Bae, right now we have a bunch of sticks that we picked up from our front yard because we're homeowners. Hallelujah. Yeah, homeowners. God gave us a blessing, okay? We have a bunch of sticks that we picked up because we want to do a fire pit. We like fire pits. Anybody like fire pits? Make some s'mores, you know what I mean? Some s'mores. Make some s'mores. And so we picked up all these sticks, and we want to use them for a fire pit. Now here's the thing. If you leave them outside and it rains, then you know when you put those sticks in the fire, that fire is not going to light. Water and fire does not mix. Water and fire. Water puts fire out, or fire evaporates water. They don't go together. Even when you have wet fuel, instead of it turning into a fire, majority of times the fuel will just turn into smoke. So if you want a fire, you're not supposed to put water on the thing that you want a fire with. But Elijah understood that the laws of physics do not transcend the power of my God. That the laws of natural elements, actually, they are submitted to the authority of the one that created nature in the first place. And so Elijah understood, okay, I'm going to make this look like an even crazier testimony because I know my God is going to show up regardless. So why are you so concerned when your bank account is empty and you got bills to pay when you serve a God that supersedes natural elements? Why are you so concerned about the things and the problems and the issues that you see in front of you when you serve a God that created everything in the first place? Why are you so tripped up and concerned when sickness shows up in someone's body when you have the authority and the power to lay hands on the sick and the sick shall recover? So Elijah is like, all right, bet, I'm going to show you an even greater testimony. And there's fire. He calls it down, and fire comes from heaven and falls down upon the altar. And it says when the fire falls down upon the altar that everything was consumed. Everything. Every single thing. The rocks, the sacrifice, everything. Fire comes down and burns up everything. Now, here's the thing. Elijah had to build an altar to prove the power of God. He built this altar to prove that my God is more powerful than your false God. And so when the fire falls down, it says that the hearts of everyone in Israel, the hearts of everyone that was around, it says that they fell down to their face and their hearts turned back to the Lord. That when the fire of God fell down, when the power of God was demonstrated, it turned the hearts back to the one true living God. You see, Elijah had to build an altar to prove the validity of the power of God. But in the New Testament, we know that we become the altar. You see, in the New Testament, we have the understanding that when Jesus went to the cross and when he died, that the veil was torn, and now we don't have to go to a tabernacle to experience the presence of God. We are the tabernacle filled with the presence of God. That now we don't go to an altar, but we carry an altar on the inside of us. And so Elijah had to build an altar to prove the power of God, but you have a testimony that proves the power of God. You carry the power. You are the living proof that there is a living God, alive and active, that still demonstrates his power. You know why you're proof? Because you used to be crazy 2 months ago when he turned your mind all the way around. You know why you're living proof? Because you used to live in poverty, but God gave you a little bit of prosperity. You know why you're living proof? Because you used to be living with the world in an enemy to God, but he turned all things around. I need all the people that know that they're living proof to stand up to their feet and make a quick 360 and say, you want to see proof of the power of God? Then you better look at me, because I am a walking, talking, living, breathing testimony that my God still has power. My God still breaks chains. My God still works. My God still keeps promises. Can you high five somebody and say, my God still works. My God still works. You see, Elijah had to build an altar and call down fire, but you went through the fire, so you are proof. Ooh. I wonder if there's anybody in this room that can testify, I've been through the fire. Ooh. Oh, and let's be honest. The fire of God is not painless. No. The fire of God is not painless. No. The fire of God burns away every single thing that is not like him. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they had chains on them. They were bound, and they were thrown into a fiery furnace. And when they were thrown into the fiery furnace, it says that the bondage burned off of them, and they walked around in the fire free. You see, Elijah had to build an altar and call down fire, but you are the altar that walks through the fire of God. And when you walk through the fire of God, he burns away every single thing that is not like him. Whew. You see, I remember in 2019. I remember in 2019, a lot of y'all know my testimony. In 2019, I was able to go and live in Ghana for 3 months. And when I lived in Ghana for 3 months, I was praying for 10 hours a day. I was in the fire of God. I'm not saying you got to pray for 10 hours a day. But I will tell you that spending that much time in God's presence, it's impossible for your life not to change. And so, but before I got to the fire, I had bondage. Oh, I wonder if there's anybody that could be honest in this room and say, oh, I've had some bondage in my life. Don't act like just because you're anointed that you haven't gone through bondage. Don't act like because you look cute in church today that you've never been through some bondage. Don't act like just because God has transformed your life and now you live a holy life and you feel like you're righteous, even though your righteousness is as filthy rags. It's Jesus' righteousness that makes you righteous. Don't act like just because Jesus gave you his righteousness that you wasn't rusty, dusty, musty, crusty, and busted in the past. Don't look at me like that. I'll tell you right now, I used to have a backpack full of vapes. Addicted, bound. Come on, listen, when we talk about, because let's be real, nicotine is an epidemic. And we were walking through South Bay the other day, and somebody literally had dropped a vape just randomly in a bush. And I watched a guy walk past and consider whether or not he was going to pick up some random, dirty, dusty vape sitting on the ground. That I watched him look at it and kind of, But instead of picking it up, he said, no, that's a trash kind, and walked off. So I'm like, oh, so if it was a good one, you would have grabbed it? And so don't act like you haven't seen some addicts before. When I talk about being a substance abuser, I was a substance abuser. I had a bag full of vapes that literally, when one would run out, I would put it in the bag so that when the next one ran out, maybe because I gave the other one time to sit by itself, that I could get one more hit from that one. I was addicted. But my God put me through the fire and burned away everything that was not like him. And now I can stand here today and say I'm 6 years sober, and I haven't touched nicotine, haven't touched weed, haven't touched drugs, haven't touched alcohol, because I went through the fire. I'm living proof that our God still works. I'm living proof that our God still has power. Is there anybody else in this room that can say, I'm a testimony that when I went through the fire, it burned away every single thing that was not like him? Oh, I need somebody to praise God right there if you know. Oh, come on. Where's all the transformed people in this room that can say, I went through the fire and I came out on the other side and the bondage is gone? Elijah calls down fire on an altar that he built, but you are a living altar that went through the fire. And you are proof. Can you look at somebody and say, you are proof? You are proof that we still have a living God. That when Jesus went to the grave, you see, there is historical evidence and proof to the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. There was 500 eyewitnesses. For people to say that Jesus is not real, they're wrong. Study history. Guess what? He is. For all the people, all the false religions that believe that Jesus was just a prophet, okay, then how come the prophet Muhammad didn't die and get resurrected? Just curious. How come if Jesus was just a prophet and if Joseph Smith was a prophet, then how come Joseph Smith, when he died, didn't resurrect? You see, Jesus, he spoke, and everything that he spoke came to pass. He died, went to a grave, and was resurrected. Jesus came out of the grave. But not only do we know that our God is alive and active because the grave was empty, but we know our God is alive and active because you have a testimony. We know our God is alive and active because you used to be crazy, and you still kind of are. But God is transforming us by the renewal of our mind, taking us from one degree of glory to the next degree of glory. And I'm just looking for all the sanctified people in this room that know every day that God is edging them to a different level of glory, pushing them and inching them to another level of glory, transforming them day after day after day. I might not be perfect, but my God is still changing me. Come on, is there anybody in this room that can say, I'm not who I want to be yet, but at least I'm not who I used to be? My God has been transforming me day after day after day. So Elijah calls down fire on the altar, but we are the altar. We are the living proof. Elijah had to demonstrate with fire. We demonstrate with our lives.